All right, we're live. Hey guys, Engineer Wannabe here. Today we've got a full panel almost. I think we have one space for one more. But yeah, it's good to see all you guys. Thanks for joining me. Sorry about the dogs in the background. Hopefully they'll calm down. But yeah, it's been a good Saturday. I hope you guys are doing well as well. Guys in the chat and guys who are with me here. Um, let's get started with our wristwatch checks. Keith, what's on your wrist today?
I am wearing the Laurier Neptune.
Cool.
I've actually worn it all week. Usually I don't like wearing stainless steel bracelets while I'm working because I work on a computer all day. But now I got I use a knit hat and I rest my I rest my wrist on the knit hat while I'm at the keyboard. So
Protecting
so
it
far
from
so
those,
good.
That's a
protecting it
good
from
life hack.
Did you end up doing that tape on the bottom of the clasp thing?
No, I'm not gonna go that far.
No. Yeah, that's good. And you've had a good week, Keith?
Yeah, good
Yeah.
week. Got my second vaccine shot last week, which is actually why I wasn't on the stream because I wasn't feeling too good.
Oh, okay.
But that's a little bit of a bright spot just because I can start seeing more people soon. So
Yeah. Very good. Glad to hear it, man. Sam, what's on your wrist?
I guess it's the same old since I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
So it's the Full Metal G-Shock. Yep.
Cool.
And not much I can say about that.
And how was your week?
how was your week, Sam?
Sam?
Oh, was that me? Oh, yeah. Sorry. My week was good. I'm kind of interested in a few Grand Seiko leaks.
Yeah.
I went so ham. I started researching. Went on the I think it was the What You Seek forum. All these people talking. But I think they're quite expensive. They've leaked some prices, so they're kind of what I'm talking about are 3 quartz Grand Seikos, with dials very similar to the Spring Drive GMTs.
Okay.
And 4 o'clock crown, same case shape as the SBGX 341 series. But I think they're charging around 5,500 for those. In quartz, I don't know if you think that's justifiable amount of money to spend on that, but would be a good topic to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, let's stick a pin on that and get back to it for sure right
Yeah.
after. Bobby, what's on your wrist?
So I have one of my favorite watches here. It is unique in 2 scenarios. One, it is it is the thinnest watch I have, and it has one of, I don't know if you can hear the crown.
That's the crown. Wow.
Yeah, and it is a watch that should get a little more, the brand which should get people respect but don't purchase. It's a JLC
Hey.
Reverso Rouge.
Nice.
It's I love that there's no branding on the dial. It just says Reverso, and it's only 7 millimeters thick, 7.6 millimeters.
Wow.
It's ultra thin.
Yeah.
Ultra thin. So yeah, so that's the GLC Reverso. I love the dial. The dial is really, really red. It's blood red. It's a enamel type of dial.
It's really even more impressive knowing that it has the mechanism, the reversing mechanism, and it's still 7 millimeters thin. That's just beautiful. I would love to add a Reverso to my collection at some point. Toran, how are you, my friend? What's on your
Not
list?
too bad. So today I got a new pickup. Well, I got this last weekend, but it's a kind of a cool piece.
Yeah.
It's
Ooh,
a very
nice.
rare Zen U1. This is the white dial. It's actually one of the first Zen models that they used the tegamenting process and PVD coding. So I think they only made 375 of these guys. So
Nice.
yeah, it was a pretty nice pickup.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little bit more proportional on my wrist than the U50 that I had.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you like the way it wears then?
Is it on a strap or a bracelet?
So it came on the rubber strap. I actually just put it now on a sailcloth strap.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I think it pairs nicely, but it did come with the white and the black rubber strap originally. So
Okay.
Nice.
but yeah, I think it pairs well. This is just like a cheap I want a strap sailcloth.
Nice. Yeah, it looks really good. I like the contrasting, because it's black and white, and the dial is black and white. It fits really well.
Yeah, it's interesting because I actually first I thought it was the dial was fully loomed, but it's not. There's loom on the markers and hands, but it's like with a black loom pigment, so it's
Okay.
not as intense, but it still kind of looms green. It's just not as
Wow.
intense as you don't see too many with the black loom.
Yeah. Cool. Well, hi to everyone in the chat as well. Let us know what you're wearing. I'm just gonna go through, say hi to everyone. Watch Yourself is first. Welcome, my friend. Wearing the U1. Very nice.
Nice.
Win Saturday. Nilo, good to see you as well, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Jared, how's it going? Wearing the Stova Classic Flieger. Watch Yourself is asking if the Reverso they came out this year. No, that was
2012, the year after the 80th anniversary.
Right.
So ultra thin 1931 tribute.
Yeah.
He's
The-
referring to the Burgundy small seconds.
Yeah,
That's another gorge piece.
it is. That's the one I have my eyes on. Oil Money, good to see you, my friend. Had the worst lockdown haircut from the wife ever. Need to see some nice watches. Well, I actually didn't do my wrist check. I just realized.
Yeah, actually,
Hi,
I've been cutting my own hair for the past year. The last time I got a professional haircut was February of 2020. So I
Yeah.
think this coming week might be the week where I get a real haircut for the first time in a long time. So
Wow, that's impressive. My wife has been cutting my hair. She does a great job. At least I think so. But yeah, last time I had a professional haircut was a year and a half ago, at least.
Wow.
Henrik was wearing the Corona Tokyo Chronograph 2. Congrats, man. That's a beautiful piece. Dan, good to see you, man. My wristwatch check is not going to please you. Nilo is likes the U1 better than the U2 black and white. Good to see you. And
Ooh, nice.
Redline Sea Dweller. Nice. Very nice piece. Nilo is wearing the 856i. Quite a few Zins today. I forgot my wristwatch check. My wristwatch check is the Grand Seiko two-tone SBGV 238. It's on a Beads of Rice bracelet, JB Forstner. Yeah, Dan from the chat really doesn't like this, but I think it works. Something about the vintage aesthetic, because the 44 JS case is a vintage case, and the Beads of Rice is vintage. I'm curious to see what you guys think. It's it's not gorgeous or anything, but I think it works.
I like how it looks on the bracelet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It fits that watch.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And it really accentuates the sharp angles, I feel. But yeah, I also wanted to shout out an Instagram account real quick. This is an Instagram account named @WatchTheBill. Really beautiful pictures. Let me pull this up real quick. But yeah, really beautiful pictures. Really great guy as well. He just messaged me this afternoon, and he asked if I'd be kind enough to follow him. Generally, that leaves somewhat of a sour taste in my mouth. But I said, hey, your pictures are great. I'd be glad to follow you. and turns out he's a really really decent, genuine guy, and I was really impressed with his pictures. So just wanted to shout him out. If you guys are interested, give him a follow. It's called Watch the Bill. So just wanted to plug him. All right. So yeah, Sam, sands of time. You were mentioning the Grand Seiko leaks. You had asked if you think the price 5,500 is that
US
Australian
dollars.
dollars
That was
or
US dollars.
Oh,
US
wow.
dollars? Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're GMTs. You said right? Quartz GMTs.
Like the one I have.
No, no.
No,
Y-
no, they're apparently similar to the Four Seasons kind of collection. So textured dials. I haven't actually seen this model, so I don't know if you want to share your screen or something.
I'll just share it in a few
Yeah.
moments.
So this guy with the 18 karat gold, it's 5,800 Canadian, brand new, and I got around 30 off. I'd say if I really did the math on the trade in that I did. I'd say I got about 30 off. So, I mean, I'm
I-
okay with spending that kind of money on 9F, but I'm a niche. I'm not the majority.
It's US dollars. You're right, Sam. You were saying
Yeah, it is.
five plus on a
Yeah,
that's
what I was thinking.
because you can get a 6 plus. I mean, even well, how much is a snowflake for the spring drive? 5.7 US.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
if
you'll
you choose.
get it as well.
I mean, I know. I think a 9F quartz, even though it's high end quartz, I think it should be definitely a grand below.
I can't get a good high resolution image. On
I've
this.
seen this.
But yeah, they're kind of three watches here. They're in the SBG N line, so the same thing as the like same line as those original GMTs. This one here is their 140th anniversary edition, limited edition with the better 9F movement. But yeah, these were the watches. They should be released sometime soon, like press release on them. So excited to see that, but not the price though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's kind of baffling that it's 5,500 USD, because yeah, not too much more, and you can get the spring drive GMTs that look
Yeah.
just very much similar to those.
Yeah.
The SPGE 255, 257, 253, I think. So yeah, I don't get it. I wouldn't pay that money. I mean, I was kind of okay with spending a bit more here because it's got
It's a special
gold
one.
in it. But yeah, I don't know about that.
Mm.
And even with gold in it, there's such a little bit of gold in this that $5,800 was egregious. Canadian dollars was egregious, and yeah, that blows my mind. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys are you guys okay with spending that kind of money on a 9F GMT watch? Keith, Toran?
I was just starting to be okay with the around the $3,000 mark.
Yeah,
And then the GMTs, the other ones that came out like a couple of years ago, maybe I forget when it was, with kind of like the Explorer 2 bezel that's similar to that. I mean, they were like what 3,500 or something. I mean,
Yeah, well, I have
percentage-wise,
the SPGN 003. That's the Explorer kind of
Mhm.
homage one, and I paid I paid retail. I saved the taxes, and it was 3,900 Canadian, brand new.
yeah,
So that's a huge percent increase.
Mm.
yeah. I
Yikes.
yeah. I don't know what GS is thinking if that turns out to be the final price. That's yeah, that's scary. All
And,
right, well,
like, can't you get the SPGM 221, the high beat automatic movement GMT for like less than
yeah.
for 4K USD? You can get a beautiful cream dial.
Yep.
I think that's the best value.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
do you know when that came out?
Oh, it's been there for a year. I don't know. Sanjay, you probably know.
2018 would be
There we go.
redesign. Because the SBGM 221 was the remake of the SBGM 031, maybe. So it's the basically the one with the Grand Seiko logo instead of Seiko Grand Seiko. It's a cream dial, but yeah, officially 2018, but it's been around for quite a while, like 5-6 years, I think. But yeah, you can get the SBGM 221. You can get the SBGW 231, which is a beautiful cream dialed manual wound Grand Seiko. Was that the one you were talking about, Bobby? The
No, I
cream
was
dial
talking
manual wound?
the Cream Dial 221. Yeah, the
Okay.
automatic. Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought it was manual. It's not a manual one, right? It's
Well,
automatic.
the SBGW 231 is a manual wound, like
Yeah,
a color lava kind of look.
I was referring to SBGM M221, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's really nice too. That's 5,900 Canadian. The SBGW 231 is 5,400 Canadian. So, yeah, way under, and you're gonna get a discount on those. So way under that.
I agree with Keith's statement about like 3K USD for a quartz. Like
Yeah.
around that range probably would be a good.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, and from a marketing perspective, I don't think it makes sense for Grand Seiko to have their quartz line compete with their high beat line.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is also just based on that rumor. It's based on a forum. They were just mentioning it would be priced towards that 5.5 USD. Like from me personally, it doesn't make sense as well to have a 5.5K USD quartz watch. But
Dan was the one who actually shared this with me a couple of weeks ago, and that's why I had seen this before. Usually, I don't see leaks or anything like that, but he says it's probably not going to be 5.5K.
I agree.
Yeah, it seems a little tone deaf if Grand Seiko holds it that high. Yeah, let's say hi to a couple more people. Hangzhou, good to see you, my friend. Beautiful Diver 65. Dan was covering his eyes at my watch. Let's skip down a bit to Ride Paddle Repeat. Good to see you. Watch Yourself actually got his 257. So the SBGE 257 40 millimeter spring drive GMT for 5,700 after discount. So yeah, you would be very unwise if you spent 5,500. So Dan says around for low floors. That's still high, but that's a bit more palatable.
Yeah.
Low energy panel maintaining its integrity by not putting lipstick on 5.7 quartz. Big, yeah. Yeah, we're kind of low energy tonight. I have had a really long week. Really messed up situation at work, but we'll skip that. Okay. So today we were gonna mention. Let's start with something Keith brought up yesterday. Keith had a bit of a topic that he was gonna put us on the spot on, and yeah, I'll let you take the floor, Keith.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of the watches I've purchased so far, and I think I've thought about the purchase for probably around 6 months before I actually made the purchase. And I think I'm a little overboard with how long I think over purchases. So I was kind of curious of what everyone else, how long everyone else waits. Because, like Christopher Ward came out with the new Sealander. I really like the one that looks like the Explorer 2, the GMT. And so then the clock starts. And I wait a few months to see if it has staying power, if I still want it. And a lot of times my eyes go to something else in that time. And I usually don't regret, not buying something sooner. So especially someone like Bobby who has one watch per color, like how long do you think over a color before you say that's the watch? And I might be a little unique. I don't flip watches, so if I'm going to keep it, and maybe that makes me think about it a little more. But yeah, I was just curious what everyone else does.
Yeah, I'll go first because my purchases have the least rhyme or reason. Um, like for example, Keith mentioned that he just got in his uh, Oris no, Oris Aquas Clean Ocean, and I was like, you know what? It'd be cool if I owned that watch as well. And I know my AD had one, so I walked over. I didn't walk over. I drove over and I was like, hey, you guys have that Aquas Clean Ocean still? And they were like, yeah. I said, yeah, I'll take it. And that was what a deliberation of maybe uh, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Thought about
Well,
it
I
for a
thought
while.
about you when thinking over this question because I mean, you didn't even have any intentions of buying a Black Bay 58 when you got the Black Bay
Yeah.
58, right? You just, oh, they have it here. Okay, I guess I'll get it now.
Okay, well, the Blackberry 58 probably is the one that I've deliberated the most, but it's always been the gilt
Yeah,
black.
the black one, yeah.
And whenever that one's been available, whenever the dealer's given me a call, it's always not been the right time for me to get it. Either just bought another watch, or I'm aiming at something else, and I didn't really want to do anything yet, and so the gilt one has never happened. I went in to trade my 44GS previous 44GS watch, and I had some cash left over, basically from that trade. They had the Black Bay 58 Blue, and I was like, yeah, let's go with that one. So, yeah,
So they didn't have the black one, and that's still has a wait list.
yes, that one still has a wait list, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I thought the blue would be more popular, but at least in my AD area, the black one seems to be more popular. Blue one isn't flying as far or as fast. So yeah, I don't deliberate that much. Generally, it's for a couple of weeks. On bigger purchases, it might be a couple of months, but yeah, I really don't deliberate that much. I mean, with this guy, I happen to have this here because I was doing a review of the deluxe straps before this. But with this guy, I walked in to see a completely different watch. I walked in to see the SBGK 009, which is similar to this, but it has a gray dial, manual wound, automatic, not spring drive, and it has a beads of rice bracelet. So that's the one I went to go see and probably purchase. They brought that out of the back, and I said, no, I'm taking that. Basically, because this one has been sold out for a while, and I missed the boat on it, and I was lucky enough to see it there. So yeah, sometimes deliberation is just a matter of minutes. So I'm very impulsive, which is not good, but that's who I am. I need to get wiser, smarter, get smarter. But yeah, let's ask Toran. Toran, how about you? Do you deliberate for long?
Yeah, I think I'm going to echo the same sentiment you have, Sanjay. And maybe it's because we both, and maybe with Sam too, we all have YouTube channels. So a lot of it for me is for content. And I'm kind of impulsive when I buy stuff, which is a little unfortunate. I've actually had some like funny moments walking into authorized dealers. It's almost like for me, like walking into a casino. Like I almost need to like give my credit card to like my brother or girlfriend because like I'm just walking out with something. Like for example, last summer when I bought the Rolex Explorer, I was actually looking for the Tudor Black Bay. They had the blue, but they didn't have the black. So similar to your situation, Sanjay.
Yeah.
And then we were about to leave. I was with my twin brother, and instead of leaving, we're like, hey, maybe let's just check out like the Rolex showroom and see what's there, because like usually there's no sports models or anything. It's usually just like women's Datejust and stuff. But for some reason, that specific day, they had an Air King and a Rolex Explorer in the showroom, and people were checking it out. And I was kind of impulsed into pulling the trigger on it. But I mean, at the same time, it did wear perfectly for me. And since it's recently been discontinued, I'm kind of glad I pulled the trigger.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Bobby?
I think Keith has a unique situation because he doesn't flip watches. Everybody else, I think, here flips their watches, so it's like a constant cycle. And Keith, when he buys a watch, I think he keeps it for a long period. I'm reaching that, like, what if I purchase a watch I want to. So I think, Keith, I think you should do your due diligence before making a purchase. Look at YouTube videos, look at reviews, and then, like, for me, like you were saying, I deliberated on this one, for example, the red color. I looked at all the other brands' red colors, the Godzilla, the Anordain, I forgot which other red, the JLC small seconds, and I felt like after making a decision, this was the best one, and I didn't settle for anything else. So I could easily gone into Anordain, and given a little bit, but I think I wouldn't settle. I waited, and then I was patient, and then when the right opportunity hit, I took a chance on this. Another thing is, if you're, especially for value for money, that's also in consideration. I think DLC usually, I mean, this watch doesn't, I don't think will depreciate. It'll only appreciate because it's a special edition model. So that also is taken into view as well. And so I think you should look at all your alternatives, and then, you sleep on it, look at all the reviews, see what you feel is, because I think the purchase that you make, unlike the others and everybody else here on the panel, you're going to keep for a long period of time.
Right.
And be patient. I think being patient is really, really the thing. And don't jump on just and probably don't go into boutiques. Like, you can try it and watch it, but don't like jump on it and everything. Just make a mental note of it. Unless it's a stainless steel Rolex, like Toran said, that you might have to.
Yeah, it's almost irresponsible not to buy one if it's just staring at you in the face.
Yeah, it's like the one thing. It's like you're not gonna lose money on it, right?
Yeah, that's a really good observation and a good point, Bobby. That Keith does buy to stay, and we kind of have a bit of a fluid collection. Like,
Keith, do you have any other things that you were thinking of besides, because that's the question you had? Like, you're bringing the question up. Was there anything else that is in your list and that you're comparing or contrasting to, or has it making you hesitant?
Not really. I mean, I like that Ming when it came out. Again, getting 3 days to think about it is not for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm probably almost glad already that I didn't buy it.
Sure.
But no, I just wait till something catches my eye and go from there, and that happened to do it. So
yeah. Well,
although Bobby, when you flip watches, do you sell it back to like a watch box or a Delray watch or something like that? Or
yeah, so like usually if I needed to, like, I usually give it to the dealer, kind of like with Sanjay's this thing, and flip it for credit and like another watch, or just cash or whatever. At this point, I've reached a point where it's easier to multiple dealings in the past. So
yeah, maybe I should.
But it's been dwindled down for the last couple of years. So.
Well, before we switch to Sam and see what he thinks, I just want to catch up with the chat here. Watch yourself. Thankfully, time passes between seeing it online and seeing it in person. So by the time we see it in person, I can make an on-the-spot decision to buy or not. Yep. That's a good point. I think Tudor and a couple other brands are kind of capitalizing on the fact that they have the stock in store by the time it's announced. So I know Oris has done this too now. That kind of gets you on the spot. This is like the brand new watch. It's hot. It just came out. It was just announced today, and it's there looking at me, and I, got to make a split-second decision to buy it or not. And that kind of probably gets a couple of sales out of the way that people might not be thinking about in the long term. Dan says, wait to find the Sealander GMT secondhand. If it doesn't stay, you can get out of it at no loss. That's good to know.
And that's another question is, Keith, are you okay with like leaving, like selling it if you don't like, you know what I mean?
I would like to get into that a little bit. I just have never sold on eBay, and there's certain, like with Christopher Ward, like if you're not doing eBay, maybe I will in the future. I don't know. Like, who do you sell that to?
True.
I guess that's I would put, like, even with the watch group we're in. I don't see anyone. I don't know. I don't think that's a watch that people are going to be super into. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. See, that's one thing. I think you mentioned that to me, Keith, in our private chat. That if I didn't have my AD, that's kind of generous in some weird way, that they allow for me to flip my watches really very fluidly, I probably would think long and hard before buying something.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah. I mean, if I had Sanjay set up, I'd probably be flipping all the time.
Yeah, because his is an AD. That's kind of rare to see that on the AD
Right.
side.
yeah,
Um,
I feel like the gravy train is kind of ending because they. I don't know if they're kind of tightening the screws or um, yeah, they were a little less willing to work with me this past trade, and I mean they still did, which is really nice. But maybe that's kind of coming to a close, which is fine by me because I'm kind of settling down, kind of like you, Bobby. I feel that's kind of rich because I've had like a bunch of flips recently, but I feel like I'm kind of settling down. I have a lot of watches that I really like, and I can't even imagine, getting rid of the Railmaster that you guys keep telling me that I'm going to get rid of. But
let's keep a date. Let's keep a note of this date, right? May 8th, right? 2021. Okay, just want to make sure.
yeah. Um, let's see. Young Excellency, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. Henrik says, thankfully, I spend many months, sometimes years, for a buying process
Wow.
because my opinion about watches changes and new cool watches keep coming out. That's a good point. If we just wait, there's going to be something new around the corner,
Right.
and you're gonna probably regret not waiting. I know I have a couple of times. Good old Bobby, Mr. Methodical. I don't think he's ever made a spontaneous decision in his
I think
life.
Oil Money, because Oil Money is like a seasoned collector too. Like
Oh, yeah.
he knows what he's doing. He won't go to like cross a Breitling boutique and see something and say, "Oh, I'm going to buy that right now because I like it." He's going to take his time. He knows what he wants. He'll take his time. He plans and everything. So
Yeah.
there's a Mr. Methodical in everybody. So
Oh yeah. Oil Money also probably the nicest guy who poses as a bit of a jerk
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
chat.
but he's always a great chat.
Yeah.
Always.
Really entertaining, really friendly guy. Always excited to see him on the chats when he pops up on Discord. Living 2 hours from an AD keeps me from being too spontaneous. That's a good point. Yeah, you can't just walk in and check out the new pieces.
And that's another thing. And Keith, you live in a city where there's a lot of watch stuff too, right? Like boutiques.
Oh
and
yeah. And I
so
don't
that's
even
a
live in the
dangerous thing.
city. I live in the suburbs. And before I even would get to the city, there's a ton of ADs around me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Or it does, depending on, just trying stuff out or whatever.
Yeah.
There is
Like
an AD walking distance from my place, but Omega, Breitling, kind of bigger brand AD, Swatch Group AD, but they are hard on their prices. They would not even discount taxes. If they were kind of like my other AD, I'd be in big trouble. But yeah, I'm kind of glad they don't discount because it's walking distance from my place. I'd be in huge trouble.
Similar brands,
What do you mean?
like the watch brands that they carry. Is it the similar brands to the AD you normally go to?
No. They don't have Grand Seiko, just Swatch Group and Breitling.
Oh, okay.
So Tudors. Well, so yeah, a couple of different brands. They seem to be branching out, but yeah. Sam, sorry it took so long to get to you, but what do you think?
I used to more than 12 months ago used to flip watches. Recently though, the only watch I kind of sold was that Seiko blue enamel, and mainly because it had a negative connotation. I've explained this story before. It's kind of like your incident with the Lake Baikal, Sanjay. You just didn't want to see it because you had such a bad experience. You had sold it within the fortnight. So that's kind of, that was the recent sell. But I owned that watch. I had that watch for a year. But back 12 months ago, I was just buying Seiko and flipping. And my friend would describe it as tastes are changing pretty quickly. And I think one of the bad things about, going through that flip is I don't. Yeah, you have the honeymoon period. Yes, it ends, but I don't feel like if you do flip that quick, you don't enjoy the watch for what it is, why you liked the watch in the first place, why you got it in the collection. So I'm moving towards a solid collection where I'm not going to be flipping any of the watches I have currently, um, especially with my friend and his philosophy. He's never sold a watch, and the one moment he tried to sell a watch, he couldn't sell it. He just gifted them to me. He gifted me two watches. He gifted me a Tissot Lelockley,
Oh wow.
um, and he
Nice.
gifted me a Swatch. So I can never sell a watch I've been gifted, and then
Mhm.
I have these remaining watches in my collection that are very special to me. I can't think of selling the Captain Cook. Um, and my most recent acquisition, yeah, the Doxer. The Doxer I got on the 30th of January. Um, and that was kind of like a birthday kind of buy. I just had the birthday is literally the one time you can justify buying anything at whatever price you want. You feel like you deserve it. And that's I love it when it's the birthday. I never hesitate. I don't think at all. Oh, okay, it's close to full retail. I don't care. It's the birthday. It's the watch you get. That's one thing I appreciate. So every birthday watch has been a watch I've kept and I've enjoyed. I don't
Nice.
think of it. But I have been thinking for a very long time for the next purchase. From 30th of January till now, I haven't purchased anything because it's a much more expensive buy. I want to think more on what I want. Maybe there's something new that's going to come out from, Grand Seiko. We used to have Basel World and all that stuff. We'd
Mhm.
know, okay, fixed date when this is going to be released. Let's wait, see what they've got to show for us. If it's good, I'll go for it. If it's not, I'll go for something else. Um, so yeah, I mean, I am waiting quite a bit for a big purchase, but back then I'd have the itch and I'd be like, hey, I'm going to buy a Seiko Solar tuner just for fun. And then
Yeah.
after like 5 6 months, I'd be like, okay, I'm bored with the watch. I'll move it on. But
Yeah.
But now,
nowadays,
now that
yeah,
once you do see a watch you
yeah.
want, how long do you give yourself to think it over
Mm,
until you buy it?
mm. That's the thing. Some of the watches I want at the moment
Okay.
are like astronomically high, and I'm expecting to pay much less for it. That's not possible. Um, but if it's a watch I really, really like, and what I've done in recent times with those Rado Captain Cook purchases, I really like the Rado Captain Cook, but I didn't feel like, okay, I'm gonna pay full retail for a Rado Captain Cook. So one day I was just searching eBay and this guy was selling it brand new, like a brand new Rado Captain Cook. I'm like, why is he selling it this low? I asked him a few questions and it was just spontaneous. I got it instantly. And sometimes, at that moment of time, I'm probably looking at another brand, two or three brands, and I do a complete 180 back to what I was looking before. Like for instance, the Doxer Sub 300T, I was actually not lusting after it. I actually liked it a year back, and
Mm,
now I had the opportunity to buy it, and I got it. So it all depends. If there's a watch you really like, you will instantly go for it when you meet the conditions.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So with you having a YouTube channel as well, and
Mm.
I know I do, Toran as well. So now that you have your core collection, are you going to set aside a couple of spaces in your watch box or something to have a flipping collection? Ones that you would buy just to review, or ones that might
Yeah.
come in and go pretty quick. Um, I know that's something I've been considering lately, having
Mm.
a couple of slots set aside for watches
Yep.
that will come and go,
Yep.
and fully settle down on something, on a core collection that I'm going to keep for the
Mm.
rest of my life or till financial disaster. But
Yeah.
um, yeah,
I
what do
I
you think, Sam?
I think that's, yeah, definitely viable. My plan is I'm going to review all my watches, go through my journey, get some new watches, fill up that box, and then I've got my friend's collection. I wear them sometimes, wear his watches sometimes when I'm back with him. Have a look. I'll review those. But then what you mentioned is, of course, something for longevity of a YouTube channel. There's only so many watches. If I added my collection and his collection, I'd have around 25, 26 watches. But we're doing more. And when you did buy that Black Bay Blue, when you're buying a Black Bay 58, you're not losing any money. You're keeping it. You're gonna wear it, enjoy it for a good amount of time. You sell it, you should get most of your money back. So that's fine. And when you're thinking about your YouTube channel, you're investing your time into it. So making small losses is fine. It's your growth. That's amazing. It's for your own growth of your channel. But I was also thinking, you can buy these cheaper watches, have that kind of flipper collection as well. Review them and move them on. That. There's nothing wrong with that. But so far, like when I do review the watches, I want to wear them for a longer period of time, not just judge it by its surface. Okay, it has this specs and all. Keep it for a long time before moving it on. I think that was what I was doing 12 months ago, but I'll see how that goes. I've only done six videos, and it's been nearly 8 months, so it's going to be a long time since I finish my collection and then my friend's collection. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, just want to say hi to Dennis Daly. Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. He's wearing his Titoni. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know it's a German. I think it's a German brand. C Scoper. Very cool. Colin's here. Hey, Colin. Thanks for joining us. Very
Congrats on the Vacheron.
Yeah, just got a Vacheron Constantin. Black Dial took me on a bit of a ride there because I thought he was getting a Grand Seiko. I'm so excited trying to guess which Grand Seiko he's getting. And next day,
complete 360, even higher reality.
Vacheron Constantin. Yeah, way better than Grand Seiko. He's like that as well. Dennis is like that. He gives his watches away. He's not wealthy, but he has friends. Well, money. Put it well. That's a true enthusiast. Would rather give a watch away to share the hobby with others than recoup a couple of bucks.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Special limited edition. Sometimes you feel as though you cannot wait as long as you otherwise would like to. That's a good point. I've had that issue come up. The one time I did decide to wait a bit was a big mistake because I was not able to get the autumn dial Grand Seiko. That just flew off the shelf, and yeah, now I'd have to buy it at an inflated price, even though it's not that inflated right now, if I'm not mistaken. SBGH 267, if I'm not mistaken. Colin says we're talking about spontaneity. Never heard of it. Yeah, the guy who had a Cartier Santos for a week.
Went like that.
Well, on that topic, did you guys catch the Bruce Williams channel latest video where he sold his Vacheron overseas?
He did?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's timely because it kind of speaks to, he's a flipper as well. And I think he had that watch for 5-6 months maybe. But he said something that I kind of liked. He said at the end of the video, he's like, I don't buy watches, I buy watch experiences.
Yeah. So he's said that a few times. It's kind of become a bit of a meme almost.
Yeah, but I that Vacheron overseas, I think it's one of the best wearing watches I've owned, and that's never going away because it just, and for everybody it's a different experience, but I would never give away my Vacheron.
Yeah. It's also one of the best blue dial watches I've ever seen.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I got it, was the blue dial. The blue.
Yeah. To summarize his video, he was pretty much like, I had this VC, I spent 20k US, I think 20k USD, and he's like, hey, I can get a Cartier Santos and have the same enjoying experience for much less of the price. And that was his logic. Yeah. But
the person actually on in the chat right now, Colin, probably can attest to having a blue Cartier and an overseas, and he could tell you right now the differences in the case back. The Cartier doesn't have a case back. The bracelet definitely night and day difference, and even the case finishing, everything. It's just a whole other ball game. Vacheron.
Yeah,
I'm glad that they're getting market up. They're market value is going up, and they're getting appreciated again. Like 2-3 years ago, nobody wanted Vacheron. That's when I got mine. But
Smart.
that was a great watch.
Yeah. Colin was chiming in. He literally just got rid of the Santos. Would rather have the VC.
Absolutely.
Did the complete opposite of Bruce Williams. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, once you get to the VC, you kind of get really spoiled. It's hard to go back, but yeah.
No, I don't like the way of saying you'll have the same experience as a cardiac Santos. You will not have the same experience. You'll have you'll have cash plus the cardiac Santos experience, which is a great watch by itself. But definitely not the Vacheron experience.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, Colin had me going a couple of days ago with the Grand Seiko. I was like, oh, it's got to be the SPG M221. And I was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, what's it gonna be? It's got to be the white birch, right? If Amin's excited, because Amin was there egging me on as well, and he said, yeah, it's got to. I'm excited. So if Amin's excited, I know Amin loves the white birch. I was like, well, he's got to have the white birch.
You forgot that Amin loves Vacheron too, right?
Yeah, I didn't even consider Vacheron. I mean, yeah. Crazy. Jack, good to see you, man. Lives outside the US. It's difficult to flip watches. Yeah.
That's another thing. Yeah.
Luke, thanks for joining us. He has no friends. Where are you friends, Luke? So join the Super Best Watch Friends Discord. All right. Yeah. So let's move on to. We got about 15 minutes. We can still chat. Keith, we're gonna put you on the spot. Last week we talked about embarrassing stories, embarrassing watch stories, and you missed out. So let's hear it. Do you have any embarrassing experiences?
When I watched it, I was glad I wasn't on. But honestly, I couldn't really think of anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is embarrassing, but the fact, so I bought my first watch a little over 3 years ago, and I think didn't buy another watch. That was like February of 2018. The next watch I bought was September of 2020. And so because I'm not a flipper and I don't go to 80s a ton, I just have, I would say, maybe more lack of knowledge of watches than someone else would be 3 years in that was a flipper or that did visit more ADs. I don't know if that's embarrassing, but I don't try and be an all-knower of watches. But maybe that's hurt my enjoyment a little. I could have been, experiencing, as Bruce Williams says, I could have been enjoying more experiences if I would have been more into flipping. But yeah, I couldn't really think of a embarrassing watch story, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint you.
No, that's fine.
I think, Keith, yours is a refreshing story. Like, you take your time, you buy one watch and you keep it for, that's because the crowd that's listening right now, and even in the Discord, we're all like been through the multiple flipping. I like the person who just takes one. It's a rarity amongst us, and it's to be appreciated.
Right. I remember being in Random Rob's. I was in his Discord for maybe like 3 months or so, and people were trying to go a month without buying a watch. He's like, stand back, everyone. Let me show you how it's done. And most people couldn't do it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I mean, whatever works for you, but I couldn't believe it.
That's I was gonna say that's kind of sad, but if I look at I have a spreadsheet on my phone. If I look at that, I know I've got multiple watches every month for the past however many months, how many years. So yeah, I can't really say anything. I think I could do that challenge, but it's not in my best interest, so I'm not.
No, do 30 days, right? So we already took note of the date, May 8th. So just June 8th, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that is true, Bobby. It's good to hear the story. That someone is level-headed. It's not common.
Yeah, it was like, whenever someone posts in the chat, like, hey, should I buy this watch? Everyone's always like, do it, do it. It's like, if you don't want to do it, come talk to me. I'll tell you to put that money in investments, whatever the case. Fund your 401k, whatever the case is. If you need someone like that, let me know.
Financial advisor.
Yeah.
But if you highlight Colin's comment, buying and selling and experiencing watches has been fun and has always helped me figure out my taste. Maybe my taste would be completely different if I did flip watches. Maybe it'd be over dressy sports watches and I'd be into, I don't know, guilloche or whatever. It'd be interesting to know what I'd be into if I did get to experience a lot of different watches.
I mean,
Yeah.
you live in a city where you can go to boutiques and not buy anything. Like, this is really hard to do,
Right.
but like, if you give your, like what Toran said, give the credit card to your significant other and just go to the boutiques or EDs, you can try on everything and see how, like when I first tried out a Speedmaster, I thought that was the best watch. I have a love for Speedmasters. I think that's the perfect chronograph. And so nothing has ever reached that, this thing for me than a Speedmaster. So, but that being said, that was because of experience too. So that's the other end of it, experience buying and selling and experiencing watches.
Yeah, and I feel, if I hadn't bought and sold as much as I had, I wouldn't have the collection that I had, because I caught some really lucky breaks with the El Primero. I got it at a screaming deal, and I resold it because someone wanted it at an insane price, because they just wanted that watch and took it off my hands. So a couple of really good deals with Seiko limited editions, and been able to climb the ladder because of that. So if I wasn't a flipper, I would not be enjoying the watches I enjoy right now. So yeah,
I think one thing that helps me too is, people talk about the honeymoon period after you buy a watch. For me, buying anything is just, I'm an anxious person. It's just another source of anxiety. Like, to me, buying something is not, I got to get over the first little bit of having something to start enjoying it. Because, it's like, oh, did I make the right decision? Did I spend too much money? Is there something weird? Is there something wrong with the watch? I got to get over all that. And then it's new, and then I don't want to wear it too much. And then I get, so like the honeymoon period for me is like long after I've made the purchase. So,
or the not buying the time, not buying is your honeymoon period, right?
Yeah,
you're enjoying that period.
Exactly.
Wow, yeah. BDev mentions that he's taking his wife to the AD to buy a Michelle watch. I'm not sure what that is, but I guess it's a fashion watch. You should point her towards a really nice red dialed Seiko, 34 millimeters. Really, really beautiful. Watch yourself went down from 30 watches to 4 in about a month.
Wow,
quite a purge. Kevin Dale, good to see you. Enjoyed chatting with Sam yesterday about watches collecting and our adventures in watch hunting. Sam, as in our Sam? Like Sands of Time Sam?
Yeah, I had a chat with the guy yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do we prefer the well-known brands or prefer something a little different? I tend to go for smaller Swiss watchmakers, Titoni, Epos, and some microbrands and other microbrands in Switzerland, Christopher Ward. What do you guys think? Do you guys go for, I mean, I know I go for the bigger brands, but are you guys more compelled by bigger brands? Does anyone want to kick off that answer? Toran? You've been kind of silent.
Oh yeah, I'll try and contribute. Like, I think for me, it kind of, there's different phases, and like where I am now, it's definitely escalated into like what I would consider budgeting a watch for. But for a long time, I did like a micro brand phase or like a German watch phase, kind of like Bobby Legs. So like I've tried for a while. I did a lot of like Zinn, Damasco, Laco, Stova, like all those. And then for a little bit on the channel, just to get more content, I did a lot of micro brands, and I've reached out to a lot of micro brands. And I think that's an interesting value proposition because with the micro brands, I mean, you're getting on like a watch spec sheet. You're getting pretty much all the features you'd want, like sapphire, ceramic bezel. Like maybe not the best automatic movements, but like for most of the micro brands I'd pick up were like divers, and you'd get like crazy loom, and they would give you, like a nice packaging with like multiple straps and stuff like that. So it was I just really enjoyed it because it's something you typically wouldn't see, and I like featuring it on my channel. But now I'm kind of going back to the bigger brands and just trying to pick up. I don't know. Now that my tastes have changed and I've experienced a lot more, I think I'm kind of at the stage where I do want to pick up something where if I do tend to flip it, then I'm not going to like lose my shirt on it per se, because that's what I learned with the micro brands or some of the lesser known brands is like if you go and try and flip it, you're not going to get your money back. So I guess that's kind of where I progress to right now.
Yeah. Yeah, with me, I think I kind of go to the bigger brands because heritage is a really big thing for me. I really appreciate heritage. I really appreciate the brand's heritage, and so I think if it's a micro brand, or a lesser known brand, a lesser active brand, or even if it's a reborn brand, that kind of is a bit of a negative for me. It doesn't keep me from buying that watch or that brand, buying from that brand, but the fact that it's not got that heritage, I think, really is a bit of a negative, a con for me, and so I'd have to pass that hurdle to be able to purchase that watch. And so because I enjoy heritage so much, along with the artistic factor of the watch, um, I tend to lean towards the bigger brands, the more well established brands that have been here for 100+ years. Those are really compelling to me.
Well, what about a brand like Hamilton that has all this, cool history in when they were a U.S. brand, but then they're sold to the Swiss in the 1960s, and I'm sure no one involved with Hamilton today was involved with Hamilton before. I feel like it's like they've continued to be a brand, but the brand is so different than what they were. It almost makes the heritage not as important to me. I don't know.
That's a good point. I think I agree with you for the most part, but I think it's been so long that sometimes I forget the fact that they've been bought out by Swiss by the Swatch Group. Because if you were to pose to me a Tissot in a Hamilton, I would go for the Hamilton every single time because of the heritage. But now that you mention, hey, it's been a brand that's no longer, they've kind of been transplanted, right? They've been taken out of, yeah, they've kind of been pulled out of the U.S., uprooted, and put in Switzerland, and they try to hold on to the U.S. heritage, but you're right, it kind of isn't the same thing. So maybe I'll look at Hamilton with a different light. But
I didn't mean to ruin them for you.
No, it's not that big of a deal because I don't own any Hamiltons, but yeah, I wouldn't be flipping my Hamilton in 2 days. But yeah, they are a nice, the heritage, the U.S., the war heritage, I think is so big for me, that I love Hamilton as a brand. But that
was just one example. I mean, there's a lot of companies that have changed hands over the years.
Yeah, yeah. Even Blancpain is something like that, right? Was that the one purchased by
Beaver?
Beaver, yeah. So yeah, see that kind of I don't really mesh with Blancpain because of that. Because it's a brand that kind of died and was reborn. It was reborn a couple of decades ago, but still, it's not it's not the same anymore, at least to me. How about you, Bobby? Do you have any thoughts on the?
So mine is, like I said before, mine is a color theme. So irrespective of where there's a larger brand, most of it is larger brands like GLC, Omega, But like my green dial, for example, is an independent. It's a Moser. So I feel like independence. Again, I wouldn't say that I would. Independence and microbands are different, classes, in my opinion. But like a Moser Pioneer, the Fume dials of the Moser, I definitely needed one in my collection. And I think they don't make that many watches per year, but their finishing, everything was on par. And I'm glad that independents are also this year. I think they've been going up in market too. So, but when I purchased it, I knew that that was not going to be it was a 50-50 shot when I purchased mine. So independence, definitely, if you have the budget for it, like for, people in the audience, Laurent Ferrier or, the higher end watches, their finishing is even impeccable to, or perfect in some certain cases. So that you might not see in big brands.
That's a really interesting position.
Yeah, I do think about this question a lot, actually, because I tend to be more interested in micro brands. I think they're doing stuff that's more unique compared to a lot of the bigger brands. It's usually better quality for the price, and that's where I gravitate towards. But I'm afraid that I'll regret the purchase later on, so I kind of hesitate buying more micro brands. But maybe I'd be fine with it. I don't know. I mean, every company has to start somewhere. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, so Keith, one of my hidden strategies for doing a YouTube channel is if I got big enough, I could ask micro brands for them to send me stuff, and they will.
True, yeah.
So I'm not really buying it so much anymore.
Make them come to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. Like, I feel like Zelos hands out watches to YouTubers like candy, but then, Manta, I think Laurier, they will only, they'll ask for the watches back. They won't give out free watches. So it kind of depends on the brand.
But there's certain micro brands that have been there for years, like Helios, right? I'm a big fan of Helios. And they retain their value pretty well.
Right.
Yeah.
But then they're frustratingly out of stock all the time too. So there's some Helios that I really like, but I don't want to pay over what they were asking for them. So
yeah. Dennis mentioned that he sees no joy in quick flipping. He likes putting marks on his watches, and when he buys something, the money's gone forever in his mind. And that's that's kind of seems to be like what Keith's mental state is as well. If I'm not speaking out of line there, Keith, just give me a heads up. But yeah, that I think is the way to collect, right? That's the way to enjoy watches, because you consider them sunk costs, and you don't play this stock market game with your watches. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you are in the watch hobby for the watch, you spend, if you're in it in that way, you spend a lot of time to make that decision to purchase the watch, and then you tend to keep the watches. But if you always have the price in the back of your mind and the value, I think the probability of flipping goes up like exponentially. Because I had the misfortune of looking up the value of this guy on pre-owned resellers websites, and I was like, oh, if I sold that. But I'm not going to. No, there's no way. Like, I was telling my wife about it, and she was gawking at the value of this thing right now, and I was thinking, it would be like losing an appendage if I sold that. So I'd have to be really willing to lose it.
On the other side, the audience is trying to enable you to sell it now.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the Railmaster is going to go before that one.
Yeah, 2022, right?
Yeah, I would absolutely say the Railmaster will go before that one.
Oh, absolutely.
I forgot to say hi to Withered Manscape. Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. Our friendly neighborhood cool. Good to see you, Dust Diver. Thanks for joining us, man. It's a little late, but that's all right. Hey, Justin EDC. If one makes like 2500 a week, how much can go towards a solid Lordy watch?
Answers 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2500,
Or if
2500.
you want to get the Shack Invicta, half a week, 3
Yeah,
days.
yeah. Less than that. No Wilson Colin is like my evil engineer nemesis in alternate universe.
You know, Invicta's headquarters is here in Florida, right?
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't know
it's
that.
it's it's, it's in like a near a strip mall near, not behind a strip mall near like Weston, Florida.
Yeah.
Speaking of lost heritage, I was really sore when Invicta bought Glycine because, like, I really loved Glycine for their combat sub and airman, and I know
Yeah.
a lot of people now don't gravitate towards them at all because they think they sold out.
Yeah, same thing for Zodiac and Fossil, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
Well,
should you let that sway you? I don't know. If the watches are still good, yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Well, at the same time, I keep remembering Amin's comment. When you're buying a watch, you're not buying the brand, right? I mean, in a sense, you kind of are, but you're not buying a lifelong relationship with the brand. You're buying the watch. If you really love the watch, that should be what you go for, which would lead you probably down the path of, micro brands, which you get the most bang for your buck.
But like Tim also used to say, like, don't buy a brand, don't be loyal to a brand because the brands are not loyal to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, words, very, very wise words. Jack D says, I really like the SPG 211, the red and black being primary colors of Japanese art. This all coupled with the GSMI swords. Perfect spring drive movement announced consummate Japanese watch. SPG 211 is a really beautiful watch. I owned it for a few months. It was the black dial is just so perfect. When Colin was describing his Vacheron Constantin, um, it reminded me of the SBG 211. Not that they don't hold a candle to the Vacheron Constantin. I mean, I haven't seen that VC, but I'm sure it's far superior. But there's
Grand
that.
Seiko's dials though are comparable to VC's dials. The VC
Oh,
dial is beautiful, but Grand
yeah.
Seiko's dials are equally as beautiful.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, the inky depth of the SPG 211's dial was just stunning. It was like looking into a black hole. It was so crystal clear, and it was so perfect, and it was so deep. The black was so deep, and the anti-reflective coating on the crystal was just insane. That I couldn't believe that it was only a single, the underside anti-reflective coating, because I always thought it was double coated because it was so perfect. But yeah, SPG 211 is just fantastic. It's a great watch. Great value too. It's one of the underpriced GSs, I think, even at full list, which you shouldn't pay. We're too chunky on wrist, which GS seems to be addressing. It is chunky. It is, I think, 14 or close to 15 millimeters thick.
Oh wow.
They are addressing it, Jack, but you will be paying for it. They're going thinner, but man, it's extremely expensive. Like it'll probably be double the price when you get a comparable model. So I don't know if you want to hold off and pay double the price for something that is as beautiful as the SPG 211. I mean, you might as well enjoy it, right? A lot of companies have moved entire continents. Yeah, fair point.
Mm-hmm. I think Ulysse Nardin is also here in Florida, one of their major.
Did not know that. For some reason, whenever I think Ulysse Nardin, I think it's like headquarters is in Russia or something, because I keep hearing Ulysse Nardin in Russia.
True.
PVD Cocky Field right now. Love to watch. Very cool. Henrik, there's a French micro brand that's getting more popular here in Europe called Baltic. Yeah. They have really nice looking vintage inspired watches. Baltic is pretty hot, I think, in the market right now. Yema is another one that's kind of popular, but kind of baffles me as to why they're so popular. There's a lot of complaints, but hey, that's hearsay, right? I haven't really looked into that. Good Bobby putting that reverse on.
There you go.
Colin's encouraging me to sell my SBG Y003. No, yeah, I'm never looking at Chrono 24 prices again. But sometimes they just pop up. It's like an ad or something. Kyle, sorry guys, I'm just skipping down the chat because we're running out of time. But Kyle is waiting for his 36mm auto spring drive. Might be a long wait, but we'll see. You never know. UN is toxifying the pristine Florida coastline.
Invicta already did that, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I think Invicta is because of the cruise lines here too. All them, the cruise ships.
Oh yeah.
A lot of they had to got to dump their stock onto the cruise lines.
Well, that's funny because my boss went on a cruise 2 years ago, and he sent me a picture and he said, "Hey, are these good watches?" And it was like a case of Invicta. And I said, "No, run away." So, well, guys, that brings us to the end of tonight. It was a blast catching up with you all. Thanks for joining me. Do you guys have anything to plug for this week? Start with maybe Toran. Do you have anything going on your YouTube channel?
I'll mention I just released a review of my Longines Spirit, the Prestige Edition. So if you guys want to check that out, and I'll also be reviewing this really nice limited edition Zin U1 in the coming week or two.
Very cool. Yeah, I have that in my watch later, so I got to catch that. Watch later is growing since there's no YouTube or Watch Soup this weekend, so I've been kind of listening to podcasts instead of YouTube videos, watching YouTube videos, and so yeah, my list is getting long. I saw that you were selling your Grand Seiko, Toran. Forgot to talk about that.
Okay, yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna bring it up, but now I think I should because thanks to you, you rattled my foundation of.
Oh no! What happened? What happened? Let's talk about that quick.
Okay. Well, quickly, I think it just came down to, and I'm still not 100% sure. I'm testing the waters. I did list my Grand Seiko SPGA 231, the titanium spring drive diver, because I found that I have that and a couple other dive watches, but then I still have my other Grand Seiko, my 9F Quartz GMT, which I think is just a better grab and go watch, to be honest. So I just thought, and I've been purchasing a lot of watches. I purchased a Longines 2 weeks ago, then I purchased the Zin last week, and I can't really keep everything. So I just thought maybe I'd list it and see, if there's any strong interest. And I'm still not 100% sure if I should do it, but I do think that there's a bit of redundancy with the divers I've had, and also having another Grand Seiko in the collection.
Yeah. So would you say like the thickness was that a factor in deciding to put that on the chopping block or test the waters?
No, actually, I'm surprised. I think it's very comfortable to wear in titanium. Although I will say the bracelet, I find it's comfortable, but now that it's getting warmer, and maybe it's just a property of titanium, but I don't find it breathes that well. Like I find if and I like to be active with it, like hiking and doing stuff, and it just kind of doesn't really like wick away much moisture or anything like that. So I've tried it on a few different straps, but it's the best wearing experience on the factory bracelet. It's just a little hot when I'm wearing it.
Yeah. I always find Colin's perspective really refreshing. He doesn't imbue many sentimental value to his watches, except maybe one or two. I think his Planned Ocean he was mentioning the other day, but yeah, it's really refreshing to see that there are just watches, so don't sweat selling them. It's a good point because every time I even think of selling them. So right now I have two 9F Quartz watches in my collection, right? The SPGX 259, SPGV 238, and the SPGX is going to go. It has to go, but I keep thinking about, oh man, it wears so well. I wore it when I did this thing, and it's so clean, and I just don't want to sell it. I don't want to and yeah, so I have to overcome that, and it's always nice to see someone say they're just watches, just sell them. If you need to sell it, just sell it. So yeah, but yeah, I was surprised to see GS go up on sale, but I even considered, hey, do you want to buy it off Toran?
Yeah, well, let me know. Or if we actually meet up one day, maybe I want to get a hold of your authorized dealer. Maybe I could trade
Yeah.
it in or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
them Sanjay said you'll get full price. What you paid for it, they'll buy it.
Yeah, that'll get me in trouble. No, but yeah, we lockdown hopefully ending in a few weeks. And maybe we can set something up and get going there, see what we can do.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Well,
we
so
get
for the
to-
record, it's listed, but I'm kind of having second thoughts. I don't know. I'm just testing the waters, see if there's any serious offers on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, got anything going on? Got any
No,
plans
just,
for the week?
I'll try and get that Larko review done.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm working on. Yeah.
I know what it's like. I said, hey, I'm gonna get this review out this week, and it's not happened for a couple of weeks. So yeah, no sweat, man. Just take your time. But yeah, there's the Toran is Everyday Watch Guy on YouTube, so check him out. Sam is Sands of Time on YouTube. Bobby is Watch Space Medicine on YouTube, and Watch Medicine on Instagram. All the links will be in the description. So check everyone out. Bobby, got anything new coming this week? Probably not.
No, I still have my Grand Seiko.
Yeah.
Still keeping it.
Yeah. Still have your Snoopies. Still have your Ed White.
Snoopy's is like your manual wind SPG. That's not going anywhere. I don't even look at the prices anymore.
Don't want to lose a limb. And Keith, our friendly neighborhood watch guy, who's got nothing going on probably, unless
No.
nope, nothing. All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. It was great fun. We were a bit low energy, but I kind of take some blame for that. But hope you guys join us next week. Thanks for sticking out. Most of you guys stayed through a low energy chat. Just shooting the breeze. But yeah, we love you guys. We'll see you next week, and hope you all have a great week. Take care, guys. Have a good night.
See you.
Yeah.